It's a warfare between good and evil, and most men don't understand how to deal. Warfare between good and evil, and most men don't understand how to deal with what's really happening. And they're trying to bring women to the forefront. That's a horrible mistake. So, Nick is giving me this information right now. According to the USA Today, Mike Pence cannot wait to debate Kamala Harris. Now, that is a debate I would watch on TV. I would sit up all night to watch it. Really. You know how you stay up all night to get a Mexican? I would love to stay up all night to see Mike Pence deal with Kamala Harris. I hope his wife tell him, you know what, deal with this woman, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because she's evil. And you know she's evil. And Joe Biden made a horrible mistake by choosing her as a running mate, because she didn't win during the debate when they were trying to pick someone to represent the Democratic Party. Mike Pence called her a skilled debater, see, in his article. She is not skilled, she's evil. See, Mike, she's not skilled. You're dealing with evil. You need to know that. Lord, let me call Mike. I'm going to have to call Mike, let him know that he is dealing with evil. And because men are afraid of women, and it's not the woman, it's the spirit that made a home in her, all right? She can overcome that. The weak men are pushing women to the forefront like they push mama over daddy, and they can't help it. This is from UN.org. We need to get rid of the United Nations, by the way. When I become president, one of the things amongst 1 to 10 that I would do immediately is that they would have to leave our country. We would stop paying for them. They are clearly our enemies. According to the this is from UN.org. UN Secretary General Anthony Guterres spoke at a virtual town hall. This guy spoke at a virtual town hall meeting with women from civil society organizations. And he used this as an opportunity to urge governments and agencies around the world to put women at the center of all efforts to tackle and recover from the Chinese virus pandemic. He said COVID-19 pandemic, but I say Chinese virus. This is a beta male all the way. You know he's all mama. Watch this.
COVID-19 is deepening existing inequalities, including gender inequality. Since the start, women have been on the front lines of the response as healthcare workers, teachers, essential staff, and as carers in their families and communities. Between 70 and 90% of healthcare workers are women. But their salaries and conditions often fail to reflect the life-saving roles they occupy. Personal protective equipment is often made to fit a standard man, which means women care workers may be at greater risk of infection. In short, the pandemic is exposing and exacerbating the considerable hurdles women face in achieving their rights and fulfilling their potential. Protecting the rights of women and girls during this time is a top priority for the United Nations. We issued a policy brief in early April, calling on governments to take concrete action to put women and girls, their inclusion, representation, rights, social and economic outcomes and protection at the center of all efforts to tackle and recover from the COVID-19 pandemic.
So why would the United States want to be a part of that mess? In the United States, where women are taking over, just as in the homes and the schools, all hell breaking loose. So why would we need to be a member of another organization called the United Nations that is encouraging even more of that in a wider way? They want to spread it out around the world. This man can't handle his mama. He can't handle any woman in his life. And that's why he's pushing women to the forefront. Real men don't operate like that. This guy is a beta male. Guterres Guterres added that women are suffering from being confined at home with their abusers. If anything, the man is catching hell. He is catching hell because his wife is at home every day now. And he got to go home to hear all that complaining. I've been tied up in this house with these children, and I don't want to. The women are the abusers, not the men. And men, you need to start speaking up about this. You have beta males accusing men of being abusers. And the men just sit back, oh, yeah, I'm a little abusers. I heard something about millennial men that I yet haven't figured out how I want to present it on the show. There's a decent way to present it. And when I asked a number of men, millennials, is it true? So far, I haven't had one to say no. And they were like glad about it, even though some of them said, well, you know, yeah, I was glad about it, but I knew something wrong with it. Inside of me, I knew it didn't seem right, they say. Some of them say. This guy is, where you get this information from, Jay? According to Wikipedia, this guy is a member of the Portuguese Socialist Party. And he was Prime Minister of Portugal. Why would we want to be, why are we involved with communist people? He's 71 years old, by the way. And he's still a wheat beta male. Here's where he spoke on patriarchy, negative effect on the world we know today.
This is the time to rebuild more equal, inclusive, and resilient societies. Women leaders are extremely effective. Women heads of state, ministers of health, health workers, and community leaders are winning widespread recognition for their empathy, compassion, communication, and evidence-based decision-making. The pandemic is only demonstrating what we all know. The millennia of patriarchy have resulted in a male-dominated world with a male-dominated culture which damages everyone, women, men, girls, and boys.
That's amazing. You know this guy is beta. I bet his wife, if he has one, whoop him going and coming. She make him lick boots. He said the pandemic is only demonstrating what we all know. The pandemic is only demonstrating what we all know, that millennials of patriarchy have resulted in a male-dominated world with a male-dominated culture which damage everyone, women, men, girls, and boys. This man need to be born again. Talking about overcoming mama, this man need to and he's 71. He better hurry up. What a mess. This is not normal, men. It's not true. Any man that think that women are created to lead is a girl. He's been seriously damaged by his mother and truly turned away from his father. Truly. Guterres speak on the decision to the leadership of the United Nations. He wants equal in gender. 90% male leaders and 90% female leaders. And he urged the world to follow suit. So now the United Nations has 90% male and female. Am I right?
No, not 90%, just 90 male.
I mean 90 males
exactly.
And 90 female.
Exactly.
What
equal.
the? Even though I'm laughing, I'm crying on the inside. No wonder Jesus wept. But because of this, men are blind. It's like they are blind and they're setting themselves up to be destroyed. Men, you must be born again. And ladies, you must be born again. Overcome mama and return to the fathers. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it. You know, it was a socialist communist holiday. It was amazing. And so the office was closed, so it seemed like yesterday was Sunday. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, JESSE. And amazing, really, I'm not making it up. Amazing show lineup for you today. It's like my producer stayed up all night just to get a Mexican. It's such an amazing show. Oh, yeah, it's Country and Western Tuesday, too. Country and Western Tuesday. I thought of that this morning, and it just passed through my mind, right? Country and Western Tuesday. Yeehaw! I want those good old days back. Good old days. My biblical question. Do people change? Do people change? That is an amazing question. And I hope you had a good rest day yesterday. For those who rested, reflected, I hope that it was an amazing day for you. We are back. Well, we never left, but we are back. A quick reminder, due to a temporary suspension, we are unable to stream live. I was talking to a really good friend, and he was like, what happened to the show? He had not realized that we were suspended from live stream on YouTube. So go to JesseLeePeterson.com/show. One monkey don't stop no show. And if you don't want my love, you're free to go. You can go, you can go, you can go. I had this amazing conversation with I was like, after the show yesterday, I kind of drove around a little bit, and I went to visit family members because I had not gone for a long time, and one of my uncles was dealing with an illness, and so I wanted to go visit, and I did right after the show. And on my way over there was this little rally thing, and it apparently ended up turning out into a riot, because I saw this morning on some news shows that the police in Los Angeles used tear gas on the rioters there in South Central Los Angeles. But I stopped along the way because it was just starting, you know what I'm saying? And I saw some people I knew there. And it was interesting to hear the way people see things and the way they think. They are really, really not paying attention. They are watching CNN and that other stupid network. What's that? With that horrible-looking black woman. What's the name of that network? MSNBC. They have Joy Reid or whatever her name, Behar or Reid. A horrible-looking woman. What's her name?
Joy Reid, you got
That's
it.
the black one?
Behar's the one on The View.
Oh, the white woman.
Right.
She's horrible, too.
Yeah, they both.
But the one on MSNBC, I don't care how you fix her hair up, she's still horrible looking. She can have a fro or have her hair done up like she got sense, and she's still horrible looking. But in talking to a few of those people at that stupid rally yesterday, they are all brainwashed. They literally believe just what they hear on those shows, not realizing that they're being deceived. And that the reporters are hating Trump, and they are supported it, that the reporters are hating Trump, and that they're supporting the Democratic Party all the way. And they're deceiving the people, and the people are sucking it up. They're totally believing it. They're not even questioning, is this the whole story? They're not thinking about it at all, so they're out rioting and burning and hating white people for no reason. But I got out of there really fast because I was by myself, even though there were a few people that knew me. When I saw more and more people start to come, and it got a little later in the afternoon, I'm like, what the? Let me get out of here. So I left. I have a cousin, and he's been on the show before, John. We kind of stopped having him on after a while because he's always late. But he and I grew up together and everything. But he's still black. And he thinks Joe Biden is going to win. He's doing like a countdown, thinking that Joe Biden is going to win this election. And I'm thinking a whole lot of blind liberals and Democrats think that. But I'm wondering why, and they're starting now to question though. But they're wondering, oh, is Joe Biden really going to win? But I'm wondering, why would they think Joe Biden will win when all summer, since almost the beginning of this year and through the summer, the Democrats have allowed the out-of-control people to burn, rob, steal, and kill, and attack white people having lunch and dinner at different restaurants and cafes, and knock white people out and the elderly out on streets. And they haven't done anything about it. They've been rioting in Portland, Oregon, I believe it's Portland, ever since I've been born. They have not stopped yet. And the Democrat won't stop them. They are handicapping the police officers. Why would anyone vote for the Democrat? I mean, where is common sense? And so I was thinking this morning, maybe they think that the intimidation will make whites and others go out and vote for Joe Biden. It doesn't work that way. I know you normally love your bully because you hate your bully, but that's not the case here. And when Joe Biden went and chose or picked that shallow, evil woman, Kamala Harris, as his running mate, it was over for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Everybody and their mama know that Kamala Harris is an evil, lying, empty shell. There's nothing is there but lies, evil. She's a body, a physical body with evil flowing through her blood. This woman attacked Joe Biden during when they were trying to decide who was going to beat out who during the Democratic primary thing. She called him she believed the women who accused Joe Biden of sexual harassment. She said, I believe it. Or she didn't doubt them or something like that. And then she said, Joe Biden, in essence, called Joe Biden a racist. I was that little girl on the bus. What the? It is mind-blowing. People, think for yourself. Not because I said it, my mama said it, my mama's mama. Think for yourself. And especially if you listen to people with degrees. They have no common sense whatsoever. They're the one that's running the world. And look, the world is at war. Due to the intellectuals running the world. Y'all got to start thinking for yourself. It is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. It has nothing to do with the physical, but spiritual all the way. It's amazing. Nick, do you know if not Joe Biden, but Kamala Harris is going to debate, what's that man named, Vice President of Trump?
Oh, Mike Pence.
Yeah, are they going to debate each other?
debate each other. Dang. I mean,
You know how the president and Joe Biden are going to have a couple of debates, right?
right, which is
Do
a
they do the
surprise.
same thing with the vice president?
And duke the vice people against each other? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you know, Joe?
I don't know. No.
Oh, okay, but I was thinking, I wonder, what's his name? Mike Pence?
Yes.
Mike Pence is there, but I don't know he's there. And he's nice. He's one of those nice Christian kind of a guys. And I like Joe Biden, nothing against him. It's just that my concern, if he debate Kamala Harris during this presidential election time, I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up to Kamala Harris because Mike Pence is kind of nice. He's one of those nice guys, mama's boys. You know what I'm saying? And Kamala Harris is evil, pure evil. And she'll say things that's not true. And if Joe Biden not Joe Biden, but Mike Pence even attempt to stand up to her, she's going to cut him down. I'm wondering will he be able to handle that? I'm just wondering out loud. I could be wrong, but I don't know if he can handle mama's spirit. And I was just wondering because that's an evil. I would love to debate that woman. Really. I would have her for lunch. And I'm just wondering if Mike Pence would be able to handle her in a debate. It's a warfare between good and evil, and most men don't understand how to deal with what's really happening. And they're trying to bring women to the forefront. That's a horrible mistake. So, Nick is giving me this information right now. According to the USA Today, Mike Pence cannot wait to debate Kamala Harris. Now, that is a debate I would watch on TV. I would sit up all night to watch it. Really. You know how you stay up all night to get a Mexican? I would love to stay up all night to see Mike Pence deal with Kamala Harris. I hope his wife tell him, you know what, deal with this woman, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid because she's evil. And you know she's evil. And Joe Biden made a horrible mistake by choosing her as a running mate because she didn't win during the debate when they were trying to pick someone to represent the Democratic Party. Mike Pence called her a skilled debater, see, in his article. She is not skilled, she's evil. See, Mike, she's not skilled. You're dealing with evil. You need to know that. Lord, let me call Mike. I'm going to have to call Mike, let him know that he is dealing with evil. And because men are afraid of women, and it's not the woman, it's the spirit that made a home in her, all right? She can overcome that. The weak men are pushing women to the forefront like they push mama over daddy, and they can't help it. This is from UN.org. We need to get rid of the United Nations, by the way. When I become president, one of the things amongst 1 to 10 that I would do immediately is that they would have to leave our country. We would stop paying for them. They are clearly our enemies. According to this is from UN.org. UN Secretary General Anthony Guterres spoke at a virtual town hall. This guy spoke at a virtual town hall meeting with women from civil society organizations. And he used this as an opportunity to urge governments and agencies around the world to put women at the center of all efforts to tackle and recover from the Chinese virus pandemic. He said COVID-19 pandemic, but I say Chinese virus. This is a beta male all the way. You know he's all mama. Watch this.
COVID-19 is deepening existing inequalities, including gender inequality. Since the start, Women have been on the front lines of the response as healthcare workers, teachers, essential staff, and as carers in their families and communities. Between 70 and 90% of healthcare workers.
He's 71 years old, by the way. And he's still a weak beta male. Here's where he spoke on patriarchy, negative effect on the world we know today. And they're setting themselves up to be destroyed. Men, you must be born again. And ladies, you must be born again. Overcome mama and return to the fathers. If Michael, let me go to Michael out of North Carolina. Michael, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to just say, being a father and having 3 daughters, and I'm African American, to hear your critique of African American women, it doesn't help the situation when you see what's going on in the media and you see your black women mistreated. So when you're sitting there talking about Joy Reid in that derogatory manner, I don't understand how you can be in your position and be a black man and feel good about how you're talking about black women. And what hurt me recently to see how those black women in Colorado were treated by the police. And if they were white, that never would have happened. But when you don't stand up and when you allow yourself to kind of fall into that trap and do what you're doing, I think that doesn't help situations that happen in the media that you see like that.
You're saying a lot, Michael, and I do appreciate. Are you a first-time caller?
I'm not a first-time caller, but it's been a while since I talked to you.
Oh, okay.
I always appreciate you taking my call.
What you said a lot. What did I say about Joy Reid that's not true?
You were talking about how she looked, and you weren't talking about her character. You weren't talking about her education. You weren't talking about her qualifications.
But for a woman, what did I say about her look?
Based on her looks.
What did I say about?
You were saying no matter how they fixed up her hair, she's still. I don't know the exact word you used, but you're just saying that she. I don't know the word you used. I don't know if you called her ugly.
Show a picture of Joy Reid.
Words you used.
No, I didn't call her ugly.
Yeah, I know, and so I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't remember the exact word that you used, but it was a derogatory comment. Whatever word you used, it wasn't favorable for Joy Reid.
Right, because she's a horrible. Let me come back. Hold on a minute. She's a horrible looking woman. She's evil. You can see it all in her, and she's not like an attractive woman, not kind of woman you would take home, right? And so, but because she's so evil, it makes her look even worse. And I noticed that they try. We don't have a picture of her. I noticed that they try to do her hair different ways to make her look better. It ain't working. Look at that. That ain't helping.
So that's the word you used. I guess you called her a horrible looking woman.
What was wrong about that?
So when you have a white police officer handcuffing black women, you have a little 6-year-old in a tiara and she's down on her knees on the ground. You saying that an upstanding African American female is a horrible looking woman?
Who is the upstanding? Who is the upstanding female?
Joy Reid.
There's nothing upstanding by Joy Reid.
Vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party.
Come back to me. Wait, hold on, man. Hey, one at a time. Calm down. Let's deal with Joy Reid. Let's deal with Joy Reid. Then we'll deal with that stupid empty shell, Kamala Harris. We'll move, but you're just running instead of dealing with the issues. Calm down.
I'm not running. They're both African American females.
Hold on. So, why do you think Joy Reid is an upstanding woman?
She has a national show on a major network, and I'm sure it took a lot of work for her to get to that position.
But she is a liar. She's evil. What made her upstanding? Yes, she is.
Well, how is she a liar?
She lies about this idea of racism, systemic racism, institutional racism, slavery, Jim Crow. She hates Donald Trump. She's a liar. She's evil. What? How
She's
can
not a
you
liar.
be? How can
She's
you
not a
be
liar, Jesse.
upstanding? Hold on, man.
Slavery happened.
You know
Slavery
what? I'm
happened.
trying to have a conversation with you. If you don't have it, I'm gonna hang up on you. What? How can if she hate everything that's good? She's deceiving the people. What made her upstanding?
I'm gonna go through all the stuff you named, Jesse. Slavery wasn't good. Slavery is not a lie. Jim Crow was
Slavery
not
is
good.
not a what?
Slavery is not a lie because you said she's a liar. Slavery
She is a
not
liar.
Jim Crow.
She's a
Jim
liar
Crow
in
wasn't
that
good.
slavery
Jim
has
Crow-
nothing to do with the lack of morality and failure of black people in America.
It does, Jesse.
No, it doesn't.
goes all the way back. It goes back to slavery and not correcting the evils of slavery, and that's why we're dealing with some of the issues we have right now.
That's not true.
That's divided. It is true, Jesse.
Then why
just don't
didn't
wanna
we have
recognize it,
these
but it
same
is true.
issues? I grew up under the Jim Crow laws on a
did my
plantation
parents.
in Alabama. Why didn't we have the same issues then?
My parents grew up in North Carolina, not on a plantation, but under Jim Crow. Went to
Why
segregated
didn't we
schools.
have the same issues then? If Jim Crow is all of a sudden affecting black people now, why did it skip over our generation?
It didn't skip over your generation.
Then why were
If
black
you- if
people
you-
doing much better under
They
Jim
were not,
Crow
Jesse.
and before the civil rights movement?
They weren't, Jesse. If you look at the generational wealth that blacks have been able to pass down from slavery to now, it is minuscule when you want to compare it to whites.
How do
And
you
it's
know that?
because of
How do you know
institutional
that?
racism.
How do you know
can
that?
Just read a book, Jesse.
How do
Just
you
pick
know
up a
what the
and read.
book is saying is true?
Well, read multiple books.
How
if
do
don't
you
believe
know
one.
what you're reading is true?
If you don't believe it, read
I'm
multiple
asking
books.
you, how do you know what you're reading is true?
Because I feel like I have an intellect that I can understand what I'm reading. and
Your
I can
intellect
decide
is
for
screwed
myself.
up.
It's not.
It's
not,
deceiving
Jesse.
you. I'm telling
It's not
you, as a
deceiving
witness, growing up during the Jim Crow era, black people did much better financially, family-wise, the way they treated themselves and other people. They weren't whining and begging and trying to take from white people. They bought land. They taught us to do it. That's why I did it when I became an adult. They didn't blame anyone. If anyone was going to complain, it would have been then. You all been lied to, and you don't even realize it. Hold on a minute.
I haven't been
Hold
lied
on.
to.
Hold on,
Okay.
Michael. Hold on. Take a break. Back in a moment. Don't forget, folks, for specialized shout outs, personalized shout outs, you can go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Birthday, funeral, divorce, breakup, or whatever it may be. And don't forget our merch on rebuildingtheman.com/store and exclusive content on patreon.com, subscribestar.com, and rockfin.com. All right, so thank you, folks. Tons of people are now donating to my nonprofit organization, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny, to church. So you're keeping us going. And by the way, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, either by phone, Skype, FaceTime, whatever, in-house counseling as well. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. All right, folks, welcome back. I'm going to get to your Super Chats and D-Live as soon as I finish with Michael out of North Carolina. Michael trying to defend the angry black women. And it's sad to hear him do this, but I understand that he's been brainwashed. And a lot of black men are like this. He's and I like Mike. I don't know him, but I like him. I understand it ain't personal. But a lot of black men are like that. They think just like women. They're not. They don't have logical minds now because they have not overcome their mothers, and it's gotten worse over the years. So I gotta be patient with him, and hope that he might think about it later and wake up. So he's defending the black women. Michael, you said that black women are being something about they're being treated badly in the media, and some black women were handcuffed with the children around them, or something like that.
Aurora, Colorado.
What?
Policemen took Aurora, Colorado, outside of Denver.
And
I
what
don't
happened?
remember exactly when it happened, but it's been recently. I think it was maybe 4 women in a car. The policemen took them out, handcuffed them, put them on the ground. Even the 6-year-old was on the ground with a little tiara crown. And it never would have happened if the women would not have been black.
Why did they do that to the women?
Exactly. I
No,
don't
I'm
know,
asking
Jesse.
you.
Well,
What happened that when the cops stopped the women, they had to do that to them?
they didn't have to do it to them.
Were you there? Were you there?
I watched the video.
But I'm asking you what happened, but you didn't tell me why they did that to the women.
And that's the point. You
Michael,
cannot
that's not
explain
the
why.
point. What did the
It is.
cops
You can-
say? What reason did the cops give that they had to handcuff those thugs?
Now, this is the reason they gave. The reason they gave was they said that the license plate was the license plate of a stolen vehicle. Now, they were in a car. No, let me finish. They were in a car that had at least 4 or 5 people in it. This stolen vehicle apparently was a stolen motorcycle. So they had the same license plate number as a stolen motorcycle, which makes no sense. And that's what led to all this, where they ended up handcuffing, putting black women on the ground.
When you
including
say
a
black
6-year-old girl.
women, you say black women, like black women can't be put on the ground if they have done something wrong. What's wrong with that?
They didn't do anything wrong.
You
Jesse.
don't know
And again,
that.
I just explained to you what the police gave as an
And where is
excuse
your
of-
proof that they didn't do anything wrong?
They were not driving a stolen motorcycle with 5 people on a stolen motorcycle
And so how do you know that?
because they were in a car. They
But
were
how
not
do you?
on a
But
motorcycle.
you're not making sense. It's something you're leaving out of this story.
That's what
When the
police
cop
said. It
detained-
does make sense.
Mike, I gotta run because your mind is closed and you're just saying stuff that's not true.
I'm not. No,
I'm
asked
asking
me-
you, when the cop detained those black women, what was wrong with them putting black women underground? You make it sound like they're special and they should not have been put on the ground no matter what.
Have you ever been detained and put on the ground?
Michael,
and
that's not the
handcuffed?
point. You're not, first of all, you're not giving a true story for sure. You sound deceiving. But secondly, if these women did something
can you have
wrong,
your staff look it up then? If
If
I'm not
you-
giving the true story, can you have your staff?
if these women did, I put them on hold. If these women did something wrong, I wasn't there, but if they did something wrong, if they had to go on the ground, they had to go on the ground. Just because they're women doesn't make it special. Women and men should be treated the same. They're not special. And Michael, you're not giving us a true story.
Is it okay? I don't want to cut you off, but is it okay for me to say one thing, Jesse?
Yes, sir.
I would appreciate if you have your staff look it up. If you
No, don't ask me. You
look.
look it up and send it to Nick.
All right. Well,
Nick,
when
we
get off
have
the line,
enough work on our handmaids. We
That's
can't
fine.
just do y'all
Yeah.
work. I mean,
No,
Michael.
All right. When I get off the line, if you give me information, I will gladly forward exactly what the police said.
Send
Now,
it to
I'm sure you're not gonna say
producer.
it, because it
Send
doesn't
it
make
to
any sense.
send it to producer at jesseleepeterson.com.
Producer, I will do that. And this is the last thing. I know you have
Let me
other
ask you a
callers.
quick question. Do you
go ahead.
believe me when I say that black people were doing much better prior to the civil rights movement than they are today?
No, Jesse.
And why don't
I
you believe
it.
that?
Because the civil rights movement and all the advancement that the people of that generation that they were able to bring forth is giving way many more opportunities to those who take advantage of it.
What
So I
type
wouldn't be
of
in a position
advancement have blacks made in the last 70 years?
I had the opportunity to go to a a major university in the state of North Carolina that my parents did not have the opportunity to go to.
Did you earn your
I had
way,
the
or they
opportunity.
gave it to you because you were black?
I earned my way, Jesse.
I
Matter of
doubt
fact,
that. I doubt that.
I earned an academic scholarship to go to that university.
No,
which
you
again,
got it because you were black.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
Jesse.
did. Blacks are.
Jesse,
Blacks
you
are.
don't even
hold
know
on.
me, Jesse.
Yes, I do. Oh, I know you. I may not know my flowers, but I know Michael from Raleigh, North Carolina. Michael, blacks are incapable of doing anything good. Have you noticed that?
Jesse, you are brainwashed. What is wrong with you?
So tell me something where blacks have done in the last 70 years and it's good.
I mean, I can name so many people where people
No,
had
name
courage
me
to do
something that blacks have stood up and they've done and it's good.
It was a black man who came up with how we do modern transfusion medicines as far as blood banks. It was a black man who came
Michael,
up with that.
tell me something that blacks have done, a location that they have built, something that they have created, something good that they have stood for, and everybody love it. They all want to be a part of it. I don't want to hear about some black man that did some blood thing years ago. I mean, within the last 70 years. Tell me something tell me something that majority of black people have done and it's good.
The majority of what black people have done, they have kept historically black colleges and universities afloat, which still mainly kind of educate African Americans.
That's not true. That's a lie.
That is true.
Black colleges have been kept, those that still exist, have been kept alive because government give them tons of money. Black people who graduate from black universities do not donate to black universities for the most part.
All right, well, Jesse, that's
anything else, Michael? See, you're lying.
No, you're lying, Jesse. I want to see the data when you compare a black college in the state to a white college in the state.
There is no comparison.
Money has gone.
Black,
you're right.
Black colleges are so weak.
Has given white colleges compared to black.
Black colleges are so weak and pathetic, they can't even stand up to white colleges at all. Why do you think black people are forcing their way into white universities and destroying them?
And then, Jesse, if you have...
Answer that question.
Well, I'm going to give you an analogy.
No, answer that question, Michael. No analogy. Why do you think black people are forcing their way into white universities and destroying them?
They're not forcing their ways into white universities.
They are by way of affirmative action, by way of reparation, and by way of intimidation. And when white people let them in, they don't make the university better, they make it worse. Why is that? Why is that?
And you're a brain.
Why, one more time, why is that?
Jesse, why am I going to argue against a lie? And why would you
what is the lie about that?
It's a lie about everything that you said.
What is the lie about that?
It's a lie going back all the way to you discrediting me. You don't even know me and saying that I'm not capable of achieving something because I'm black.
You're not.
Dumb. How dumb is that, Jesse?
You're not,
and
Michael. You are an affirmative action baby.
And you are a weak man.
How am I weak?
You're weak because you can't even stand up to black women. You're afraid of black women.
What do you mean I can't stand up to black? Why do you say that?
And you're always talking about people being beta males. But
why do you say? Why do you say I can't stand up, Michael? I put him on hold again. I want to know from Michael, why does he say I can't stand up to black women? Where's his proof? Michael, did you hear the question?
I'm sorry, say the question again.
Why do you say I can't stand up to black women?
Because you're afraid of them. You're afraid of everything.
And where is your proof of that?
I don't know why you are.
Where is your proof of that?
Because you're always trying to bring down black women and make yourself feel
What
better.
do I say about them that's not true?
Everything that you say.
Like what?
Much. From our conversation.
Give me an example.
That they're evil.
And how is that not true?
Because all black women are not evil, Jesse.
I always say not all, but most.
And most black women are not evil.
So how did if what you're saying is true, how did the black men and women of those of those people's children become so wicked and destructive and hateful, having children out of wedlock, blaming white people, talking about slavery, burning down buildings, following a far-left liberal organization like Black Lives Matter, a bunch of fat black radical lesbians who admit that they are Marxist, they hate God, they hate the nuclear family, they hate anything that's good, the unborn children, and black people are following that. If black women are so good, why are the kids so screwed up?
Majority of black people are not following what you just
Why
said.
are the kids so screwed up? Mike, I got to run. I wasted enough time with you. Proving my point. Call me again,
Jesse,
all right?
Wait, you
Call
asked
me
me 3
again.
questions.
Bye. Super chats. Adila.
Super chats.
All right. We got from Giggling Spy, thanks for the diamond. Cactus Eater Bear, he says, I haven't seen the Russia money on my tax form. Evgeny Crosby, he says, Ashley Shackelford ate up all the ribs, donuts, etc. The fat lady from yesterday. Jimmy DM with the Ninja Genie. Non-human white man here. Thanks for the love. Now set your black A down and shut up. John WX 15, he says, can I get a big, fat, nasty pig eating all the ribs?
Big mama.
And I think he's also reacted to that lady who was teaching the white people yesterday that they're all racist.
Oh, my God. What about? That must be a lovely woman.
She's all
That
full of
must be
love.
one of those lovely women, black women that Michael was talking about.
Right. Andrew J with the diamond says, God bless JLP show fam, chat mods. What the?
What the?
Noah's Arkansas says, all my life.
All my life, I've been beat by men.
Hydro BX with the diamond. It says, the New York Times, same news. Who said Castro was amazing? Okay. Elron Humperdinck, he says, nation starts with contract, not foot on land. Oh, nation starts with contract, not foot on land. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know what you're saying.
I think what he's saying there is that a nation is a contract and not just when you get here. But I can't be sure. I'm just
Okay.
reading what he
But
said.
Thank you.
And that is all. I think that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you, folks.
I just got one more here. Evgeny Crosby, he says, if you vote for the Dems, you get what you deserve. Original
That's right,
Pollywog.
that's for sure.
Original Pollywog says life is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and Fluky Unicorn says so-called intellectuals can be smart but not wise.
I'm telling you.
Sulilex says I emailed.
They may know how to add, work a computer, but that's it.
Sulilex, I emailed producer a link. I wish you well, friends. I'll check it out. And Jomatic with the Ninja Genie, thanks. He says the more worldly things blacks demand and are given, the further they fall away from God.
And the interesting thing about what these blacks are doing, they are like trying to intimidate and take from people. And then they feel good about themselves as though they're earning it, I guess. But what they're taking is not going to work out for them. It does nothing for character, for the soul. They're only going to get worse. They're not going to get better. Their kids are going to get worse. They're going to suffer even more so because morally they are separated from God. That's not going to make them better people or a better person. What the?
And that is all for now.
Thank you
Y'all
all.
are amazing.
I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the donations on Sundays and other times that you give to Bond and to the church service and those who are giving back because you're being helped. It's amazing. Thank you. And don't forget for personalized shout-outs, go to Cameo.com, whether you want me to encourage someone or congratulate or birthdays or whatever the celebration, the occasion is. Go to Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And all of our merch is at rebuildingtheman.com. Amazing stuff there, too. And Patreon.com, SubscribeStar.com, and RockFin youtube.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Exclusive content on those channels. Check them out. I absolutely appreciate it. Let me go quickly to Mark out of Houston, Texas. Mark, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jess. How you doing?
All is well, sir. How you?
Man, I'm good.
No man
I'm
is
at
good.
20.
No man is good. All is well.
Well, I'll say I'm all right. I'm all right for right now.
All right.
But Jess, I'm that 20-year-old that called I was in love with that 50-year-old. You remember me? I've been doing your silent prayer, but it still hasn't helped in my life for older women.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yes, I have, but it's like I realized something about young females. It's like when they date a man, like it's like when young females date a man, they want a man who would treat them like crap. They don't want a man who would really treat them right.
Yeah, because they're looking for a father's love. And so when they see a man who is angry and out of control and a thug-like guy, they think that that's a man. And then when they get one that's, as you say, try to treat them right, they see that as weakness because the men who are trying to treat them right are doing it in a weak way. And so that just make the women hate them more.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Then like I'm not the type of man who would treat women like crap. It's like
I bet you're not because you date 50-year-old women. You dating your grandmama.
I guess you're right, but it's because older women want to be treated right.
And when you say treat women right, how do you treat them that makes you think that you're treating them right?
Treat them like a queen, for instance.
And how do you treat them like a queen?
Basically, like, I say, like instead of her doing all the housework, I do half the housework, she do half the housework, and then instead of her making her cook all the time, both of us split the time that we cook together, and then if I get married to her, and we still go on dates, and they say you should never stop dating your wife because that's what ends up making married couples break up. And then every time we go on a date, I pay for everything, like stuff like that.
Man, you've been taught wrong. All that stuff you just said is bull crap. Everything you just said is wrong.
How is it wrong?
Because you're being weak. Where did you get this idea that women should be treated like a queen? Women are not queen. Women are just women.
Well, I know older women want to be treated like that, though.
Well, who taught you that?
Well, nobody. That's just my nature. I'm the type of person who treat women like that.
But that's why you're never gonna get one.
Well, I have had some young women my age in the past, but
I know. How old are you?
21.
But all they're gonna do is take your money, Mark, and then they're gonna use you and be done with you.
But that didn't happen in the past. I just ended up like leaving them in the past because basically they got turned off by being treated like that.
No, they got turned off because that's weakness. Women don't like men that cater to them.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Where's your daddy?
Oh, my father's right downstairs right now.
Is he weak too?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Does he cater to your mother?
Well, basically, let me explain the situation. Basically, my mother is 9 years younger than my father, and then my mother still ran everything when I was growing up.
That explains it.
But the thing is, I'm not like that.
Ask your father, why did he let your mother run everything? She's younger than him. He should know better. Just one day when you're sitting around with him, just say, Daddy, why did you let Mama run everything? Now I'm being overtaken by women. They use me. They don't like me. I'm weak with them. Ask him, why did he let your mother run everything?
I'll do that. But just
let me know what he says, okay?
Okay, but it's another point I wanted to talk about. Basically, I don't think that just because a younger man is with an older woman that she'll necessarily control him. Yeah, I think it depends on the man. I think that only if the man is a beta male that he'll get controlled by older women.
But
So I know
any
women
male that's with an older woman is a beta male. That's why he's with an older woman. The first sign of being a beta male that you with an older woman.
But then I'm just not attracted to young females. For
I
some
know,
reason.
because you hate women.
I'm like, my women have to be like, when we first meet, she have to be my next girlfriend. When we first meet, she have to be at least 40, and she can't be older than 50. But she's beautiful enough; she could be up to 55.
Oh Lord, what a mess! Why are you saying your father downstairs? Are you living with your father, mother?
Yes.
Beta.
Yes, let me give you my reason behind that. Because basically, as long as I'm living with my father and mother, when I go to work and make my check, I don't have any bills to pay. I can spend my check on whatever I want.
On women.
Oh no, not on women. Because I haven't been with any women since this pandemic came.
So the the Chinese virus has prevented you from being with women?
Yes.
Well,
But I wouldn't spend my whole
thank
check
God
on
for
them.
the Chinese virus. You said you have not spent your whole check on the woman?
No.
Because of the
never.
Chinese virus?
I say I never spent my whole check before. I say probably just spend like the most I ever spent on a woman is probably 5% of my check.
Amazing. Why don't you get your own place and grow up?
But if I got my own place, that'd be less money I had to spend on myself from my paycheck.
I got to run, Mark. Call me again, all right?
All right, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing. I got to take a break. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news. Back in a moment. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent.
Please do your part. #FlexAlert, because we're having sort of a heat wave, I guess. Sunday, it was 108 degrees over here. And this is not far from the coast. Back in February 2016, Kamala Harris had tweeted, California ensures that 1/3 of electricity is from renewable resources. She wants this issue spread nationwide, and she shared a creepy Joe Biden plan to secure environmental justice and equitable economic opportunity. Sounds like a commie scam, right? Takeover of the power industry. Crazy. And Revolver reports on COVID. New York Times says that over 90% of positive PCR results, that has to do with the COVID-19 testing, are probably false positives, at least effectively anyway, having what may be negligible amounts of the virus. The failing New York Slimes, on August 29th, they had the headline, "Your coronavirus test is positive? Maybe it shouldn't be. The usual diagnostic tests may simply be too sensitive and too slow to contain the spread of the virus. The standard tests are diagnosing huge numbers of people who may be carrying relatively insignificant amounts of the virus." This is the New York Times writing, August 29th, just a few days ago. "Most of these people are not likely to be contagious, and identifying them may contribute to bottlenecks that prevent those who are contagious from being found in time." In 3 sets of testing data that include cycle thresholds compiled by officials in Massachusetts, New York, and Nevada, up to 90% of people testing positive carried barely any virus, and a review from the New York Slimes found. On Thursday, the United States recorded 45,604, that's last Thursday, right? Or 2 Thursdays ago, new coronavirus test cases, according to a database maintained by the Slimes. If the rates of contagiousness in Massachusetts and New York were applied nationwide, then perhaps not 45,000, but 4,500 of those people may actually need to isolate and submit to contact tracing. Interesting, huh? But meanwhile, in New York, Revolver reports that Cuomo says that New York City cannot open up unless we have 4,000 social distancing enforcers, a task force. The mob boss, that's what Revolver calls him, Revolver.news, by the way. New York Governor Cuomo refuses to reopen restaurants, and now 64% may go out of business. Reason headline says, Andrew Cuomo says 4,000-person New York Police Department social distancing task force is needed before he will allow indoor dining in New York City. They've been excluded. New York City restaurants have been excluded from reopening their dining rooms as opposed to the rest of the state, which has been allowed to reopen. He called it on a press call last week, September 3rd, and we only want to, he's talking about enforcement. What an oppressive man. And 64% New York City restaurants may be closing permanently.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question: do people change? That's my biblical question. In a minute, I'm going to show you a lovely black woman. A lovely black woman. It's so sad. When I look at the world, it fills me with sorrow. Children today gonna really suffer tomorrow. I gotta tell you this, then I want to take some calls, and then I'll present the lovely black woman to you. So I was visiting family members yesterday, and we have this whole thing going on, this discussion about everything. And so eventually, they both said to me, the husband and the wife said to me, and they love me. I know they love me. They hate me, because we all really grew up in the same environment. The wife said, yeah, Lord, you so white. You so for the white man. And then my uncle said, he said, what happened to you? What happened? We all grew up in the same environment down in Alabama under the Jim Crow law, but you don't seem affected. I'm like, I'm not. And as far as being white, I'm like, I'm for what is right, not white or black. Or when God changed my heart, he took away the idea of color and physical battle and all this crap. It's either good or evil. I'm just for what is right. But I realize unless you're born again, you won't understand that. You can literally live a life with no anger. Really. And that doesn't mean you're not going to yell, you're not going to stand up for yourself. You just won't hate. It doesn't mean that, but it does mean that you will not take things personally. You can't because you don't have that fallen state identity anymore. You're not of the darkness, you're now of the light. And that's why I keep encouraging you to know yourself, forgive, go and forgive mama. Because you're born of the flesh, you must overcome it by being born of the spirit. And the only way you can do it is to go and forgive. Then you'll be born of the spirit, a return to the Father. And it's amazing to see that. But it was a good conversation. It was a good conversation. But they cannot understand what happened to me. It was so funny. Amazing. Let me go to Greg. Greg out of Canada. Greg, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well, Greg. How you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Amazing.
I'm good. I want to call about and answer the biblical question.
Do people change?
I don't think they do, or I know that they don't.
And why not?
I think
why do you believe that they don't?
I just want to read off what I kind of wrote down about this. Like, people can choose to make changes in their life, but they don't change if they were born in the image of God. So change is a choice. It's always within them. And sometimes other people can show them how to make those changes themselves, but they always had it within them, I guess.
Okay, so you said a lot, and because I'm black and slow, I didn't get it all. Number
Sure.
one, you said people do not change.
No.
And the
But
reason they don't change is what?
They can choose to make changes, but that doesn't mean that they themselves changed.
And what do you mean when you say they can choose to make changes? What do you mean by that?
So sometimes people, they can get out of a fallen state, or someone can guide them in the right way, and that can allow them to make the right choices to improve or to get on a better path. And they might seem like they've changed, like they might have lost their anger, but I don't think that they've ever changed. They were always born with all those tools within themselves. It's just now they're actually realizing them once they've maybe gone out of a fallen state, or maybe they actually go into a fallen state and then they change for the worse. But they chose to make that choice.
They chose to make the change. To make the decision not to change.
Yes.
Have you changed, Greg?
I've made some choices for the better, but I've always been the same.
You have not changed.
No.
And when you say you have not changed, how would you describe yourself?
Always looking to improve.
It's so you're looking to change, but you've never changed.
I don't think so. No.
And what do you need to change from?
Again, I always need to improve, so I need to sometimes get rid of a victim mentality. I need to reduce my anger. I need to see better people in a better light. But those are just things I'm working towards, and I've always been able to do that. But more recently, I think I've been better able to do that because some people have guided me. But in theory, I could have potentially always done that. It was always within me. It helps if you get guided in the right direction so you can kind of more quickly make those choices for yourself to change.
And so, I don't know what you're talking about, Greg. So let me ask. So you right now, and forever, you've been an angry person, right? Are you saying that?
A little bit.
And you've been insecure.
Sure.
You're uncertain about things.
Right.
And do you believe you can change from those things?
I can, but I, as a person, I don't think I actually if I was born like what I believe or what you've been saying, is that you're born in the image of God. I don't think that people have ever changed. I think.
I know. How about you? You have never changed, right?
I don't think so.
And do you believe that you can change from those things?
No, I can just make better choices.
What do you mean by make better choices?
I can learn about how